Hi guys, it's me, Skylar Capri, and today we're talking all about Bath & Body Works X Milk Bar. Now, I have the first product in the collection, but they will be releasing 4 new fragrances in both the body care as well as a limited amount of home care. So I wanted to walk you through the fragrances, touch on my initial thoughts, and kind of give you awareness as to what is going to be coming soon. That being said, if you're returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. We do all things Bath & Body Works, especially the body care. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's dive right on into the video. All right, you guys, so before we dive into the 4 new fragrances, I did want to quickly touch on my thoughts about the original launch. Now, this was the Bath & Body Works Milk Bar birthday cake. I did pick this one up in the body wash, and it has notes of layered vanilla cake, creamy frosting, and rainbow sprinkles. Now, this one really surprised me. Usually when I think of cake fragrances at Bath & Body Works, honestly, the most iconic, because it is so re-released, is Strawberry Pound Cake. Now, if you've watched my videos or you know my sort of feelings on Strawberry Pound Cake, it's a nice fragrance in the home care, but as far as body care, it is just so artificial, and that cake note is so heavy that it largely makes the fragrance unwearable for me. It's just way too much. So I did have my reservations about this fragrance at first, but you guys, this is a really nice fresh bakery cake. It's not artificial, it's not super dense, it's light. You still definitely get the frosting elements, and the rainbow sprinkles are a nice touch, but it's like a light funfetti cake with buttercream frosting on it. It's delicious. I think it can be worn all year round, and it's something different compared to everything in the current Bath & Body Works lineup. So I actually really like this one. I give this one a 10 out of 10. I think the packaging is very cute. I absolutely love the pink. I love the little sprinkle details. Now, this bottle style for the body wash is something that we've seen previously. We saw it in Always and Forever, which released earlier this year but didn't get a lot of traction, so you might not be familiar with that one. But I love the pink. I love kind of this buttercream cap, and then obviously the sprinkles, the hot pink. It's very fun. I enjoy it. It looks cute on the shelf, and especially in the body creams. The body creams are really fun as well. I'm just a lotion user. So 10 out of 10 on the Milk Bar birthday cake. Now we're going to dive into the new fragrances. I'm going to sit on this side of the screen. I'm going to put some images up right here, and we're going to dive right on into it. Now, regarding the release around this collection, people have been saying it's October 14th, October 15th. Some people have been saying it's a little bit earlier. They're already seeing things in their store. So I'm assuming it's going to be either this week or next week. That's really going to wrap it up. Wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be this weekend that this collection drops. But basically, all of the pages on Instagram have released images of this to an extent. I'm sure you've been seeing some other YouTube videos about this as well. And the images that I'm using for my video are from Sense Galore on Instagram. She is amazing. She always has great content. I don't know how she gets it so quickly, but her images are always clear. They include the scent notes. Highly recommend following her. Not only will I include her not only will I include her tag in all of the images I put on the screen, it will also be in the description box down below, so make sure to check her out. And if you are using photos from somebody else, not a big deal, just make sure to credit them as always. So the first fragrance we have is going to be the Cereal Milk Soft Serve. Now, I have never been to a Milk Bar location, but I want to say this was one of the desserts that really made the Milk Bar brand extremely popular. So I can't speak to it from like, oh, is it going to smell like the treat itself? But I will speak to it from a scent note perspective. Now, we currently have an image of the body cream. I think this looks really nice. It's fun. It's going to look cohesive with the rest of the collection, which I appreciate. And it definitely plays into the overall cereal milk soft serve. There's cereal on it. It looks like it has these little blue dots. It's a fun package. This entire collection is supposed to be a fun bakery collection. Now, as far as fragrance notes, this one says it is soft ice cream, golden cornflakes, and frosted sugar. I was looking for other fragrances that may be similar to this. I know I immediately thought of the milk fragrance that is in the, what's that collection called? It has like coffee, honey, milk. It's not the aromatherapy, it's not the apothecary, the wellness collection that has the milk fragrance. That's immediately something that I thought of, but just hearing the other fragrance notes, and because it's ice cream and because it's cornflakes, I just didn't seem to have too many similarities to that milk fragrance. Now, as far as what I think this is going to smell like, I'm really confused if this is going to be a truly lactonic fragrance or that soft ice cream is just going to give it a nice vanilla overlay. If anything, I think this is going to smell smell primarily like the cornflakes for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure if that's the case, but I feel like it's going to be a warmer, cornflakey with a little bit of like a vanilla sugary background to it, not so much of like an ice cream, or I feel like we've had a cereal themed pocket bag before. I don't think it's going to be truly that cereal milk latonic fragrance, but I think this one is exciting. I'm interested to see how this will compare to the rest of the collection because I think what's coming is honestly a bit stronger. It's a bit in the profiles that we have seen in years past, so I feel like people are really going to gravitate towards these, but I'm excited to see it. We'll have to check it out in store, and yeah, that will be the first new fragrance. Now, the second fragrance coming is going to be Cinnamon Sugar Pretzel Cookie. That is a lot in a fragrance. Now, if I want to remember correctly, I want to say we had some type of pretzel candle in the past. I don't believe it was cinnamon sugar pretzel cookie, but I do believe we've had some pretzel fragrances in and out of Bath & Body Works in the home fragrance. Now, this one says it has notes of toasted pretzel, cinnamon dusting, and sugared vanilla. And immediately when I saw this, I automatically thought of those Annie and soft pretzels I used to get at the mall with my mom, and I still very much do. The ones with the cinnamon sugar. I feel like that's a really interesting scent combination. And I know some people might be a little bit thrown off because it has that pretzel note to it, but it almost reminds me of something like a salted caramel. Yes, it's caramely, and it still does have that kind of salty, almost savory undertone. And a lot of people really enjoy fragrances like that. The salt tends to kind of really balance out the carameliness, that over gourmand kind of cuts through it. So I feel like that might be something that we're seeing happening in this one. Now, going note by note, a toasted pretzel, I do have a reservation about the toastiness of it. I just don't want it to come across as burnt. Sometimes when they do toasted in their products, it's just a little bit burnt, a little bit deeper, and not something that I find super wearable. I'm really excited for that cinnamon dusting note. We haven't seen a true cinnamon scent out of Bath & Body Works in a while, and I believe I touched on this when I did the holiday preview video I did maybe a week or two ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, where I talked about Life Inside the Page had released some possible names for what could be coming in the mini fine fragrance mist, and one of the options was Cinnamon Spice Delight. So I was really excited about seeing a somewhat cinnamon fragrance, as I feel like that's fairly underrepresented in the current Bath & Body Works lineup and what we've been seeing over the last couple of years. So I'm really excited for the cinnamon dusting, and then sugared vanilla. Bath & Body Works usually has a pretty good grasp on vanilla, so I feel like this product is going to be no exception. I'm excited for this one. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be different, and a lot of people are going to gravitate towards it. Now, the third fragrance is something that I immediately thought of something else that we've had before. The third fragrance is called Raspberry Holiday Pie Bar. So I don't know if these are all Milk Bar products. I'm assuming they are, but I thought the names were a little bit funny. I didn't know if it was like Milk Bar and then it's like Pie Bar, or it was just like a pie, or like really what the actual a raspberry holiday pie bar would be. It's like a popsicle. I need to do some Milk Bar research. I have my Bath & Body Works research down, but I definitely need to do some Milk Bar research. Now, when I found out about this fragrance coming, I immediately thought of other Bath & Body Works raspberry fragrances that we've seen in the past. Some originally that I could definitely roll out would be things like Sun Ripened Raspberry. That one was just too much of a fresh raspberry that I didn't think it was gourmand enough to actually be somewhat similar to this raspberry holiday pie bar. Now, the one that I did think would be very similar is going to be Raspberry Jam Donut. Now, Raspberry Jam Donut came out, and I want to say it was a quad collection, so it came out with 4 other fragrances, and it included the chocolate covered cherry, it had the Raspberry Jam Donut, I want to say Strawberry Pound Cake came out, and then maybe Coconut Cream Pie, or kind of another fragrance, sort of a gourmand bakery collection, but we haven't seen that one back since that collection debuted. I don't think they've brought anything back from that collection except for that Strawberry Pound Cake. Now, Raspberry Jam Donut had fragrance notes of wild raspberry jam, powdered sugar, and warm fluffy donut. And the all-new Milk Bar Raspberry Holiday Pie Bar has notes of sugar cookie, raspberry jelly, and toasted almond. So there's a little bit of similarity there. I wouldn't say anything to the extremes, but I did think that this was an interesting scent profile, and it did immediately make me think of the other one. Going scent note by scent note, which is how we do things when I do the Everyday Luxuries videos, So you have sugar cookie in the Milk Bar. That might be comparable to the warm fluffy donut of the raspberry jam donut. In the Milk Bar, you have the raspberry jelly, which would be very similar to the wild raspberry jam, or could be. And then the last fragrance you have is in the Milk Bar fragrance is the toasted almonds. The last fragrance you have in raspberry jam donut is the powdered sugar. So kind of similar in the raspberry note and almost being like a raspberry gourmand, but I don't think it's going to be extremely similar just from the toasted almonds. Usually when they have almonds or any type of kind of nuttiness, hazelnut, anything like that, you really do get a true nuttiness in the product. And I just feel like that wasn't something that was achieved with raspberry jam donut, leading me to believe that it is going to be different enough to definitely tell there's a difference. It's not going to be a repackage. But that being said, if you maybe did really enjoy raspberry jam donut, this could be something that you definitely want on your radar. Now, the last product was extremely exciting to me because when I also did that holiday preview video, I talked about wanting kind of a Christmas, more Christmassy chocolate fragrances, mint fragrances. I touched on like Santa's blueberry shortbread. I touched on the Fireside Flurries. I touched on Christmas Cocoa and Mint, Raspberry Sugar, a lot of those iconic Christmas favorites. Now, the Milk Bar x Bath & Body Works will be coming out with a fragrance called Peppermint Bark Truffle. Now, Peppermint Bark Truffle, it says it has notes of peppermint chocolate cake, crushed candy cane, and white chocolate. And that sounds extremely decadent, extremely fitting for the Christmas time. It's mint and chocolate. What more could you want? Now, reading this product, it did make me think of another one, and you guys know it. It's going to be the Christmas Cocoa and Mint fragrance that we haven't seen back in years. I want to say this was dropped before 2020, so somewhere in the 20 teens. And that fragrance, if you're unfamiliar with it, it had notes of decadent milk chocolate, thin mint cookies, and marshmallow fluff. So again, very similar to what we saw with the raspberry jam donut and then that raspberry holiday pie bar. They are similar to an extent. They have kind of a similar overall vibe to them, but when you go scent note by scent note, they kind of have their little differences. So going back to the Peppermint Bark Truffle in the Milk Bar, we have peppermint chocolate cake. That might be somewhat comparable to the thin mint cookies, kind of like chocolate and peppermint. In the Milk Bar, you have the crushed candy cane. That might be similar to, again, kind of those thin mint cookies, not really anything matching that one. And then you have your white chocolate, which could maybe be similar to the decadent milk chocolate, but again, differences here and there that would lead me to believe it is different enough. But the scent profile might be similar enough that if you really enjoyed Christmas Cocoa and Mint, you feel like you haven't found a good replacement for that one, this might be an option, and I want to give you guys awareness as to this product coming out. But overall, really interesting collection. I like the direction that Bath & Body Works is taking this. I kind of saw some falter with the Bath & Body Works x Disney Villains collaboration. A lot of those fragrances have still been sitting on the shelf in my store. I feel like the scent profiles just really weren't there for a lot of people, and that included myself. We had seen a lot of apple and berry fragrances already, so there was nothing really grabbing my attention. With a collection like this Bath & Body Works x Milk Bar, these are products and really scent profiles that we have been asking for, that they are then kind of transforming into this collaborative piece that I think is going to draw a lot of people in. Raspberry Jam Donut was amazing. Christmas Cocoa and Mint was amazing. This is kind of maybe their way of incorporating some of those really desired scent profiles, but doing it in a different way that it's not just, okay, it's a repackage or, oh, it's coming out again, which I think on Bath & Body Works' behalf is a really good strategy and move overall. It's also exciting for Milk Bar to really expand its brand presence. I personally had never heard of it before this collection, so I'm glad if they're a smaller business. I'm not familiar with the size of the business, if they're getting their brand and their name out there a little bit, as I really did enjoy their birthday cake fragrance. But that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm interested in this collection. I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to get in stores. You got this, you have holiday. We have a lot coming, you guys, and it's going to be an extremely exciting time over the next couple of months. So definitely start your budgeting, do your inventories. I'm happy to make a video on how I do all of that for my products. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.